The circus seldom came to the towns in the north. They were too scattered, their populations too poor to justify the expense of transporting animals, sideshows, and people down neglected roads in order to play to sparsely filled seats for a week. William could not recall a circus ever coming to his town, not in the whole 10 years of his life, although his parents sometimes spoke of one that had played early in the year of his birth. In fact, his mother said that she had felt William kick in her womb as soon as the lights went down, as though he was somehow aware of what was taking place outside his red world. Since then, no great tent had occupied the big field out by the forest. No lions had passed through here, and no elephants had trumpeted. There had been no trapeze artists, no ringmasters, no clowns. And so it was with surprise and delight that William watched the first of the posters appear in the shop windows and upon the lampposts. "From Europe," they announced. "For one night only, Circus Caliban." It took William only minutes to track down the circus folk responsible for distributing the posters. He found them on a side street, using a stepladder to put up the advertisements for their great show. A cold north wind threatened to make off with a dwarf in a yellow suit, who teetered at the top of the ladder as he tried to staple a pair of posters together around a lamppost, while a strong man in a vinyl cape and a thin man in a red coat held the ladder steady. The ringmaster smiled. "Do you like the circus?" he asked. "I think so," said William. "I've never been." The ringmaster staggered back in mock surprise. "You have never been to the circus? Well, you must come. You simply must come." And from the pocket of his bright red coat he produced a trio of tickets and handed them to William. "For you," he said. "For you and your mother and your father. One night only. Circus Caliban." William took the tickets and held them tightly in his fist, unsure of the safest place in which to put them. "Thank you," he said. "You're welcome," said the ringmaster. "Will there be clowns?" asked William. "There are clowns on the posters, but I just wanted to be sure." "There are always clowns," said the ringmaster, and William thought that his breath smelled very sweet, like bullseyes and gumdrops and jelly beans all mixed together. "It would not be a circus without clowns." On the night of the performance, William and his mother and father drove into town and parked their car at the edge of the great field. People had come from all around to see the circus, and a house-full sign stood beside the ticket caravan. He followed his parents through the sideshows and rides. There were shooting ranges and hoop-toss, games of skill and games of chance. William was not aware of drifting away from his parents. One minute they were beside him, and the next it was as if the whole circus had shifted slightly, moving silently in a great circle, so that William no longer stood among the rides and games, but at the very periphery of the performers' caravans. Uncertain and a little afraid, William began to pick his way carefully back to his parents, stepping over guy ropes and avoiding the tow bars of the caravans, until at last he came to a single yellow tent, which stood apart from the others. Outside stood a red jalopy decorated with balloons, its wheels misshapen and its seats balanced on huge springs. William could hear voices speaking inside the tent, and knew that he had found the clowns. He crept closer and lay down on his belly so that he could peer beneath the bottom of the tent, for if he was seen at the entrance, then they would surely send him away, and he would learn nothing at all. William saw battered dressing tables, with brightly lit mirrors above them, the bulbs powered by a humming, unseen generator. 4 men sat at the tables, dressed in suits of purple and green, yellow and orange. They had oversized shoes on their feet. Their heads were bald, but they wore no makeup. William was faintly disappointed. Then, as William watched, one of the men took a cloth and doused it in liquid from a black bottle. He looked at himself grimly in the mirror, then drew the cloth across his face. Instantly, a line of white appeared, and the rim of a big red mouth. The man wiped himself again, harder now, and circular red cheeks appeared. Finally, he hid his face in the cloth, rubbing furiously, and when the cloth came away, it was covered in flesh-coloured makeup, and a clown stared back from the mirror. The other men were engaged in similar activities, rubbing away the cosmetics that concealed the clown faces beneath. But those faces were not at all funny or engaging. True, the men looked like clowns. They had big smiling mouths and oval shapes around their eyes, and fake redness painted onto their cheeks. But their eyeballs were yellow, and their skin looked puckered and diseased. Their bare hands were very white, reminding William of cheap sausages or uncooked dough. The clowns moved listlessly, and they spoke in a language William had never heard before, more to themselves than to one another. The tongue sounded very old and very foreign, and William felt himself grow increasingly afraid. A voice in his head seemed to echo their words, as though someone close by were translating for his benefit. "Children," the voice said. "We hate 'em. Foul things. They laugh at what they don't understand. They laugh at things they should be afraid of. Oh, but we know. We know what the circus hides. We know what all circuses hide. Foul children. We make them laugh, but when we can, we take 'em." And then the nearest clown turned and stared down at William. And the boy felt hands like talons gripping his own as he was dragged beneath the canvas and into the tent. Two clowns, unseen until now, knelt by him, holding him down. William tried to cry out for help, but one of the clowns placed a hand over William's lips, stilling any sound within. The other clowns crowded around, some with a little of their old makeup still in place, so that they seemed half human and half other. Their eye sockets were rimmed with bright red flesh, and their long nails sparkled in the light. One of the clowns, now with an orange wig upon his head, placed his face very close to William's and sniffed at the boy's skin. Then he opened his mouth, revealing very white, very thin, and very sharp teeth. They curved inward at the bottom like hooks, and William could see great spaces of pink gum between them. A tongue emerged, long and purple and covered with tiny barbs. It unfolded like a fly's, or the end of a paper whistle, slowly uncurling from deep in the clown's mouth. The tongue licked at William, tasting his tears, and it felt to William like having a thistle or a cactus rubbed against his face. The clown stepped back, readying his tongue to lick again, but another clown with blue hair, bigger and taller than his fellows, grabbed the tongue between his thumb and forefinger and squeezed so hard that his stubby nails punctured the flesh, and yellow liquid dripped from the wound. "Look," said the clown. The others drew closer, and William could see a streak of something flesh-coloured upon the orange clown's tongue before it was released to slide back into its owner's mouth with a slapping sound. The blue clown raised his finger so William could see what was upon it. It looked like makeup. And then the clowns descended, their breaths stale with the lingering taste of tobacco and alcohol. He felt their tongues upon him, licking his face, scouring his eyelids and his cheeks with their tiny barbs, exploring his ears and his lips and his nostrils as they covered him with their saliva. William closed his eyes tightly as his skin began to burn, the pain like the stinging of nettles. Just as he felt sure that he could take no more, the clowns stopped. They stared down upon him. And now there were real smiles beneath the painted ones, as their tongues withdrew into the cages of their mouths. They backed away, revealing William's reflection to him. Another William stared back at him from the mirror. This one, pale-faced and yellow-eyed, with a painted-on smile and rosy red cheeks. The blue clown rubbed William's head gently, and a handful of William's dark hair came away in his hand. The other clowns joined in, running their nails through William's hair, until there was nothing of it left but a few lost strands. William's face crumpled, the tears flowing freely now. But the clown's smile never left his face, so that he seemed to be laughing even as he cried, crying harder than he had ever cried before, crying for all that he had now lost, and that would never be his again.
"I want me mum," whimpered William. "I want me dad." "No need," said the blue clown. "No need for family. New family now." "Why are you doing this to me?" said William. "Why have you done this to my face?"
"Done?" asked the blue clown, and there was real surprise in his voice. "What done? Done nothing. Clown not learned. Clown chosen in the mother womb. Clown does not become. Clown is. Clown is not made. Clown is born." The circus Caliban was gone the next day, and there was no sign that it had ever visited the town. The police looked, but William was never seen again, and a new clown was added to the act of the circus when next it appeared at the edge of a forest in a country far, far from this one. He was smaller than the rest, and seemed always to be looking into the laughing audience, searching for the parents that he still hoped would find him, but they never came. And his teeth fell out and were replaced by sharp white hooks that were kept hidden behind shields of plastic, and his nails decayed to hard yellow stumps at the end of soft, pale fingers. He grew tall and strong, until at last he forgot his name and became only Clown. And a great clown he was. His tongue grew, and he tasted children with it as they laughed. For clowns are hungry and sad and envious of humanity. They travel from town to town, looking for those that they can steal away, always seeking the child that kicks in the womb, and always finding him upon their return. For clowns are not made. Clowns are born.